In what has been described as one of the most emotional moments in recent South African political history, Nathi Mthethwa's wife was seen overcome with grief, shedding uncontrollable tears following a deeply moving speech by President Cyril Ramaphosa. The event, held at a solemn memorial honoring Mthethwa's life and legacy, drew a large gathering of political leaders, community members, and citizens who had been touched by Mthethwa's work over the years. The atmosphere inside the venue was thick with emotion from the outset. As President Ramaphosa approached the podium, a hush fell over the audience. Cameras captured the widow seated in the front row, her hands clasped tightly together, a picture of silent anticipation and apprehension. From the very first words of Ramaphosa's address, the depth of the president's respect and admiration for Mthethwa became apparent. He spoke not only of Mthethwa's tireless dedication to public service but also of the personal integrity, humility, and compassion that defined him both as a leader and as a man. Today, we gather not only to mourn a colleague and a servant of the people, but to honor a life lived with purpose and conviction, Ramaphosa said, his voice steady but heavy with emotion. Nathi Mthethwa's contributions to our country were immeasurable, and his absence leaves a void that is felt deeply by all who knew him, his family, his friends, and his fellow citizens. As the words sank in, Mthethwa's wife was unable to contain her grief. She pressed a hand to her face and wept openly, visibly shaken. Several ANC leaders seated nearby, including Deputy President Paul Moshatile and former ministers who had long worked alongside Mthethwa, instinctively leaned toward her, offering quiet words of comfort. The scene was a rare glimpse of vulnerability in a political environment often marked by formality and restraint. For those present, the display of emotion underscored the profound impact Mthethwa had on both personal and professional levels. Ramaphosa went on to recount specific instances from Mthethwa's career, his work to strengthen community engagement, his role in advancing key national policies, and his tireless advocacy for social justice. Each anecdote seemed carefully chosen to reflect not just the accomplishments of a public figure, but the humanity of a man deeply committed to making a difference. In every challenge he faced, Nathi remained steadfast, principled, and compassionate, Ramaphosa said, pausing to let the words resonate. He never sought personal gain, his mission was always the service of our people. The president's speech was punctuated by moments of poignant silence. At one point, he addressed the widow directly, expressing admiration for her strength during this difficult period. To his beloved wife, we share your grief and your loss, Ramaphosa said. Nathi's legacy lives on not only in the work he accomplished, but in the family and the values he leaves behind. The widow, visibly struggling to compose herself, received supportive nods and gentle touches from surrounding leaders, illustrating the solidarity of the ANC in a deeply human moment of collective mourning. Observers noted that the emotional response was not limited to Mthethwa's immediate family. Senior ANC officials, party members, and ordinary citizens in attendance were seen wiping away tears and whispering condolences to one another. The grief seemed to ripple through the room, creating an atmosphere of shared reflection on a life of remarkable service and dedication. Many commentators on social media described the scene as historic and heartbreaking, highlighting the rare display of emotion from leaders who are typically reserved in public forums. Throughout the speech, Ramaphosa's message was clear: while Mthethwa's passing is an irreplaceable loss, his legacy must continue to inspire both the party and the nation. He emphasized the importance of unity, resilience, and continuing the work that Mthethwa had dedicated his life to, noting that grief, while powerful, can be channeled into meaningful action. By the conclusion of the address, the atmosphere had shifted slightly, from raw sorrow to a reflective reverence. Attendees rose to their feet to applaud, some standing in quiet tribute, others embracing one another as a show of solidarity. The widow, still tearful but steadied by the support around her, was escorted from the stage, receiving heartfelt condolences from colleagues and political figures alike. The scene left a lasting impression, not only as a testament to Nathi Mthethwa's enduring influence but also as a powerful reminder of the human side of politics, a side often overshadowed by rhetoric and strategy. As the nation continues to grapple with the loss, the memory of Nathi Mthethwa and the emotional outpouring seen today serve as a unifying moment.